Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron. It is the player ratings. Fulham 0, Everton 0 at Craven Cottage. A hard fought point for Frank Lampard's Toffees yesterday. As I said, apologies that this video is a little bit late. I was extremely busy after the game last night and therefore wasn't able to get it out. But we are going to do it now. The instant match reaction is already out if you want to go and check that out. I don't know why the sun has just decided to come and invade my personal space when recording this video. It literally hasn't been out since about June, and now that I've decided to record, it decided to come and say hello. But anyway, we are going to jump straight into it. As I said, a hard 4 points for Everton. A little bit disappointing for me that we didn't try and get at Fulham a little bit more and exploit their defensive frailties, because they definitely have got defensive frailties. We made it a little bit too easy, I think, for them to defend in this game. They didn't make it easy for us to defend. I think they had something like 24, 25 shots on target. However, Everton defended brilliantly. James Tarkowski, Connor Cody, Jordan Pickford, all in absolute tip-top form for Everton. So let's get straight in to the player ratings then. On that note, Jordan Pickford, I'm going to give Jordan a 9 for yesterday. Again, really good performance. I don't think it was his best of the season, and his best of the season, we'll get him a 10, 11 out of 10 even, because even though there was a lot of shots on target and stuff, again, I thought the saves he made were saves that you would expect him to make. He made a couple of absolute world-class saves. Don't get me wrong, a couple of absolute world-class saves, but a lot of them were saves that you would expect them to make, and you would expect them to deal with, because he's a world-class goalkeeper. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this. I'm not surprised by these Jordan Pickford performances. I don't watch a Jordan Pickford performance like yesterday and come away from it thinking, oh my God, how absolutely unbelievable is Jordan Pickford, because I know that's how good of a goalkeeper Jordan Pickford is. Jordan Pickford is one of the top 5 goalkeepers in this league without a shadow of a doubt, without an absolute shadow of a doubt. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So when I see performances like this from Jordan, it's not a surprise. It's not a, oh my God, how amazing was Jordan's day. It's just that's Jordan Pickford. That's standard. That's what he does. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's getting a 9, as I said. Again, maybe a little bit harsh to not give him a 10 out of 10, but a goalless sort of way at Craven Cottage. I don't think many people are going to be getting a 10 out of 10. Certainly not from me. But yeah, again, I thought he'd done everything he needed to do. Another clean sheet as well, which is a positive. I mean, if you're looking to take positives out of this game, a clean sheet for Jordan Pickford, second one on the bounce, of course, is a massive positive to take from it. But as I said, Jordan was world class yesterday, and that's because Jordan is a world class goalkeeper. Go figure. Into the back line then. Vitaly Mykolenko, I'm going to give Vitaly Mykolenko an 8.5 yesterday. I thought he was very good. Very much carrying on from his performance against Crystal Palace. I thought his performance against Crystal Palace was phenomenal. Probably his best of the season, which was good really, because he needed it, because it come after what was probably his worst performance of the season against Newcastle. He come out of Crystal Palace, as I said, really good performance, good battle and hard working performance, and I thought again yesterday for me he was absolutely excellent. Everything he needed to cover, he did. Everything he needed to deal with, he did. Everything he needed to do defensively, whether it be stand up with his man, whether it be go to ground, whether it be jockey the player, whether it be put the ball out, whether it be, to jump in, whatever he needed to do, he did, and he did it at the right time, in the right place, constantly throughout the game. So really good performance by Miko, and I think he deserves that rating. Centre halves then, James Tarkowski, he's going to get a 9.5 yesterday. Again, I said not many players will get a 10 for a goalless draw against Fulham, and maybe Jordan Pickford deserved the same rating as James Tarkowski, but I just thought James Tarkowski was absolutely phenomenal. Again, yesterday, we are now talking about a player who is incredibly consistent, and by incredibly consistent, I mean every single week without fail, whether Everton have won, whether Everton have drawn, or whether Everton have lost. Every single week without fail, we're sitting here talking about James Tarkowski as being man of the match, as being an absolute 9, 10 out of 10. Even, as I said, despite the results, he was absolutely phenomenal against yesterday. His defensive work was great. His desire, his commitment, his battle. Had a shot on target as well, which is a little bit rare for Tarky. Probably should have done a little bit better with that shot on target, if I'm being honest. But it was still a really good performance. And again, a little bit like the Jordan Pickford discussion, exactly what you come to expect with James Tarkowski now, because this is what James Tarkowski does. He puts performances in like this. He puts game-winning performances in because he's a genuine world-class footballer. And we saw that again in abundance yesterday. World-class defender, shall I say, because people will get a little bit frustrated with that. Certainly has been in world-class form before anybody starts crying. Conor Cody next to him. I'm going to give Conor a 9 out of 10 as well. Again, similar to the winner against Palace. I don't think he was as involved as James Tarkowski, but he was still absolutely phenomenal. The pair of them at the moment have got a relationship. The pair of them have got a partnership that, for me, hasn't been matched at Everton for a long time. You could go back to Jagielka and Lescott. You could go back to Jagielka and Distan. I don't think you're going to be able to find a better Everton centre-back pairing than James Tarkowski and Conor Cody for the last, as I said, 10 years of the football club. The pair of them at the moment have been absolutely brilliant. Again, I thought Conor Cody, although maybe not being as involved as James Tarkowski, I still thought his performance was excellent. I thought his desire was there. I thought his battle was there. I thought his commitment was there. I thought he was, again, throwing himself on the line, throwing his body on the line, making sure that he gets in front of challenges. If a player's got the ball, he's throwing himself at it. He's just got a I never say die attitude, Conor Cody. The pair of them have, but Connor's is quite abundantly clear, given he's firstly a lone player, and secondly, obviously, has come in with a little bit more of an added pressure on his shoulders than James Tarkowski. Even though we don't talk about that, it's true. And I thought he was absolutely excellent again yesterday, as he has been all season. So he's getting a 9. Seamus Coleman, I'm gonna give Seamus an 8, and probably I don't know, actually. I don't know whether he was that good, to be honest. Yeah, I'll give him an 8. Look, I thought he done okay. Thought he held his own relatively well. Thought there was a couple of moments that it was far too easy for him to be played around, and that is ultimately why I think Frank Lampard made the substitution to bring on Nathan Patterson in the second half. But I thought in the scheme of things, considering how good Fulham are going forward and how much pressure Fulham put on teams and how much quality and pace and power they've got in their attack, I thought he done okay, Seamus. I thought he done okay. We'll go with that. Into the midfield then. Amadou Onana, I'm going to give him a 6.5. I just don't think he was as good as he has been in recent weeks. I don't think he was anywhere near as involved as he has been in recent weeks. I just don't think he was anywhere near as impactful, and maybe that was because the game didn't allow him to be that, and the way in which the game panned out, and the way in which the game plan panned out by Frank Lampard, because of the control that Fulham had and the constant attacking and the constant pressure that Fulham put on us. Couple that was the reason as to why Amadou Onana wasn't particularly in the game as much as we would like him to be. But I just thought he was, in comparison to a couple of his last performances, I just thought he was a bit more absent yesterday, and that's not really what we want to see, because we want our midfield to be controlling games of football. But that ultimately is how it was. Having said that, Garner Gay next to him, I'm going to give him the same 6.5. I think very, very similar. A couple of moments where I thought in the first half he was really... In fact, no, I'm going to give Garner a 7, because I think in the first half he was, pardon me, quite obviously our best player, certainly the best in that midfield. Thought he worked really hard, thought he battled really well, thought he moved the ball really well. And as I said, I think in that first half he was definitely the standout for Everton. The second half, I think he got a little bit quieter. Again, ultimately ended up going off, of course, because he wasn't in the game at all at a point in the second half. But I thought in the first half he was really, really solid. Battled well, worked hard, moved the ball well, won it back, couple of interceptions. But again, as the game went on, started to disappear a little bit more, which is... which isn't really what we needed in that time. And then Alex Iwobi, I'm gonna give Alex a 7.5. Maybe being a little bit harsh, maybe an 8 would have been a little bit more of a better score. Again, don't think he was as involved as what he has been in recent weeks. I still think every time he had the ball, he moved it well. Still think he worked well with the ball. Still think his battle was there. Still think his desire was there. Still think his commitment was there and all of that. But again, I just don't think he was as involved as he should have been, or maybe as he has been in recent weeks. And that's probably because it was a different game, and Fulham are, a much more attacking side, and Fulham get at you, and Fulham put pressure on you, etc., etc. And it just wasn't as easy, I don't think, for Alex to get on the ball and to dictate as he has been doing in recent weeks. But again, I still don't think there was much of a problem with him. And then the forward line, then Demarai Gray. I'm gonna give him a 6. I think his cross for Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the first half is one that Dom certainly should have done better with, in my opinion. Again, it was a really, really good opportunity that was wasted ultimately. That shouldn't have been wasted. But other than that, I don't really think he done much, to be honest. I don't really think he created much. Don't really think he offered much. I don't really think there was much at all. Massive thanks to Yeti, by the way, for becoming a member. Again, really appreciate that, my mate. Yeah, I just don't really think he done much. Don't really think he offered much. Don't really think there was much desire, much battle. I just, again, it was a typical inconsistent Demarai Gray performance for me. Anthony Gordon on the other side, he's getting a 5. Just poor for me from Anthony. Poor for me from Anthony yesterday. Wasn't really involved. Didn't have much of an impact or an output on the game whatsoever. And just another Anthony Gordon performance that you sort of sit here and shake your head at and think, how and why, really, considering how good he was against Crystal Palace the week before. How can you go from that to such a lacklustre, disappointing performance yesterday? But there you go. And then Dom's getting a 4. I wasn't impressed with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But in fact, Dom's getting a 3. I wasn't impressed with Dominic Calvert-Lewin whatsoever. I thought he didn't really offer much going forward. The chances that he did have, he was offside with, or he mishit. I think he was absent yesterday, and absent in a game that we could have done with him, really, because, as I said, Fulham have definitely got defensive frailties. Onto the subs bench then, Nathan Patterson. Great to see him come back in, of course. Really, really good to welcome Pats back in. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I thought he'd come on and was solid enough. Couple of passes that he left a little bit to be desired on, but you would expect that from a player who's been out for 3 or 4 weeks with an injury and still is nowhere near match fitness. But yeah, I thought he'd come on and done okay. Dwight McNeil, 6. If I'm being perfectly honest, I can't really remember him touching the ball. Neil Mowbray, again, 6. I don't really think he touched the ball when he come on. And then James Garner. I'm going to give James Garner a 7 as well. Not just purely because I thought he'd come on and he done okay. He put himself about, he battled. He worked hard. But that tackle in the box to just take the ball away from the direction of the ball, away from the path of Fulham forward, was match winning, because if that falls to a Fulham forward in the 6-yard box from 10 yards out, I know Jordan Pickford's great, but it's probably a goal. So, James Garner had his part to play and did it really, really well. Anyway, there you go. They are the player ratings. Let us know your thoughts on them in the comment section down below. If you haven't checked out the instant match reaction, please do so. It is live on the channel. Now, if you've enjoyed this one, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're watching a YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below and we'll get involved with as many of them as we can. Big thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.